Oh, I'm live. It's been one of those mornings. So I had this big sign on my screen that said, "You can't have access to your cameras or your microphone. You need to shut everything down." So I've been scrambling, but it came up because in my mind I'm thinking, how am I going to let anybody know that I can't go live? Okay. August frequency forecast. There will be change. Oh, yeah. There's really going to be some big changes in August. So let's go ahead and get started. First, I just want to welcome our international community. And hello, Diana from Romania. Hello from New York, Sunshine Coast of BC. New Zealand. Hello. Hello from Texas. Good morning, world, to you too. And Calgary and Portland and all kinds of places. I met a very nice person yesterday, Canadian, Dr. John Ryan. You can look him up. And somebody, I'll get into the forecast here in just a second, but somebody suggested, that he and I get together, and I kind of joked with him because I said, it's kind of like setting up for a blind date, that I think this person needs to talk to this person. So anyway, we got together. I am telling you, our lives are so parallel, like every single aspect of our life. He talks about the blue light. He talks about blue light grids. Dr. John Ryan. So I know he's got a YouTube channel, but I don't know that that's under that name. But anyway, do you know how fun it was for me to talk to somebody who knows the plasma and the grids and the light codes and all of that stuff? Yeah. So we were just having a really good time. So, but let's get back to the August frequency forecast. There will be change and you can count on it. And the bigger caption I have for this is unity beyond division. So what if the breakdowns around us aren't actually a collapse, but a reset toward something that's profoundly human? So write that down, profoundly human, because that's this whole frequency for August. And honestly, August is setting us up for September, October, November, December. So this is where you want to get it right. You want to get your feet underneath you. You want to get solid within yourself. You want to get grounded within your authenticity, your truth. So this is that time, it's like you're going on a trip and you got to pack your bags and get everything organized, and who's going to, watch the house while you're gone and water the plants. So this is August. August astrological alignments are activating kindness, clarity, community at a deep soul level, but it's also revealing that we are in the middle of this cosmic choice point where are you going to choose illusion or truth, division or unity, reactivity or awakening? It's time to remember, and August is going to help us remember what it's like to be human again. And I would love it if you all, what does that word mean to you, being human? So go ahead and put a little post in the comment section about what does being human mean to you. So hi everyone, my name is Nancy Rebecca, and I'm a retired registered nurse. I've been teaching professional psychic development for a very long time, and that's what I teach full time. I did have some elevating experiences from the 17th where star beings came in, and that's a whole other addition to the story that really helps amplify everything that we're going through right now, where I used to think it was just kind of like a little side detour road that sounded kind of cool and fun and interesting, but it's becoming a very deep part of our life. And so we have a lot of help from star beings. And I just want to say about that, I was reading a study the other day that they found the four basic kind of, these elements that is found in outer space are the base for all of our DNA. And it was a real scientific study. But it's basically, again, how many times do we need to hear this, that we are literally from the stars? Okay, so welcome to my channel. So today's talk is called, Oh Yes, There Will Be Change and You Can Count on It. And I mean this in the best possible way. This isn't about fear or collapse. Again, it's about remembering. That's what we are all doing. We're remembering in August our humanity. A frequency shift is underway. It's moving us from reactivity to restoration, from confusion to clarity, and most importantly, at the top, from division to unity. Division to unity. So I'm curious what some of you mean if you posted what it means to be human. Awesome. I'll love reading those later. Okay. So, and yet with that shift, we're approaching something very sacred, which is a choice point. Now, I know that you all love to have choices, right? You go to the restaurant, you get to have a choice. It's like if you're, want to go to a party, you'd like to have a choice if you want to go to the party or not. Remember, we all love choices. So we're at a choice point that only you can be discerning and make the decision about which choice that you would like to make. And so the frequencies are really coming in, and I'll talk about this humanity point and this unity point. But when I was meditating yesterday, it was like I could feel this really, I'm just going to call it, there's no other way to name it other than this ugly part that of humanity and in the world, that it seems like it's palpable, it's strong, but it's not over dominating the kindness and the unity. But it's still worth mentioning because you've got the choice about which frequency you're going to tap into in the month of August. And I want you to be very clear, we'll do a meditation on that, about the choices that you're going to make in August, because it's almost like that's the imprint that's going to carry you through till the end of the year, the end of 2025. So within this shift, it's a choice point, and it's more than just a personal choice point. It's a planetary choice point. So let's explore exactly what that means. Sorry, Pamela Drew. I think being human means just try to keep your head above water. It feels that way, doesn't it? All right. So what does it mean to be human? Let me ask you this. What does it mean to be a natural human? All right. So just surviving to keep your head above water, I'm not quite sure that's what the nature of being human was meant to be, even if it feels that way. So I don't mean a stressed out, numbed out, rushing around version of yourself. I mean the human that you were born to be, that curious, kind, compassionate, deeply connected to others. So in asking that, where, we're saying, well, it's just about keeping my head above water, are any of you having moments where you can tap into that curious, kind, compassionate, deeply connected to others self? Or does it feel like a distant memory, a distant past, and like we're never going to get back to that place again concept? So let's look at unnatural human behavior: war, bombings, righteous anger, group thinking, letting fear lead. These things are truly not our pure soul essence. They are symptoms of being a world, a humanity that's been disconnected for so long from our true frequency that we can barely remember just being born and who we were when we were just that little child, and we just felt free and so okay, let's go. And recently I saw a video, and this is what sparked this whole talk, and this is what sent me down the rabbit hole. So I was watching on YouTube, and this clip popped up. And in this clip, it was, we're here in the United States. So he was, I'm going to assume he's Republican because he had on a red hat, MAGA hat. And he came on and he said, you know, it just dawned on me. He said, our leadership is trying to keep us divided. Our leadership doesn't want us to be connected to one another. Our leadership wants us to find opposite aspects about each other. And he's like, I'm not going to do that anymore. I think we shouldn't listen to them. And I think we should just start being kind to one another again and go helping each other out, no matter your belief system, no matter your religion. Like, he was going on about this, and I was just like, huh, wow, that's awesome. And so when I went to kind of do the deep dive in the astrology, so for all of you astrologists listening in, please put your 2 cents in worth. But it's ripe. It's totally in alignment. What he was saying was exactly in alignment with the August frequency forecast and the astrology that's happening. So I will drop into that just a little bit, but I do encourage you all to do your own research on it. So he said, we all need to stop listening to political leaders in regards to division. So, and start being kind to each other again. It sent chills through my body, because when I was hearing him speak, it wasn't this bravado. It felt like the whole entire universe was speaking through every cell of his body. And that's what I mean by truth. Like, what he just said is so true. That's what's called the soul remembering itself. So in August 2025, the astrological awakening, and then there's tension. So this energy of remembering is more of being mirrored in the cosmos. We have some really powerful astrological alignments in August 2025 that hold light and hold shadow, potential and peril. So Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries. I am not an astrologer, so I just wrote what I call chicken scratches of what really jumped out for me. And any astrologers, please, you can elaborate on that. This is a soul checkpoint. Saturn-Neptune conjunct with Aries. It's a soul checkpoint. Do we act with integrity, or do we act with illusion? Do we follow truth, or do we follow what just sounds good but keeps us asleep and unconscious? And then there's the grand trine. Now, we definitely have the soul's gate, the 8-8 soul's gate. And that is often kind of celebrated as a portal opening. But as I kind of feel into that, I know that happens every year. It just feels like air, like nothing's really happening on that day. But on August 9th is where there's some real substance in the frequencies that's coming through. This is a bold, revolutionary energy that's coming in on the 9th, Pluto, Uranus, and Mars. This is where our old patterns, humanity's old patterns, are breaking up, just like that man speaking, who he just noticed, wow, I don't feel like being divided from you, but I'm being told I should be divided from you. It's that sense, that aha moment that he had. So in this grand air trine, and it is grand and it is change and it's all air, Pluto, Uranus, Mars, bold, revolutionary, breaks old patterns, explodes into chaos if you are not grounded. So we're going to do a grounding meditation. It's a lightning strike, but we must be wise about how we channel it. And do we choose to embrace it and take it on to prepare us for the fall, or are we running the other way? Then there's also on August 9th, the full moon in Aquarius. This is the big thing about humanity and community, cooperation, visionary thinking. But the shadow of Aquarius is emotional detachment, coldness, intellectual superiority. So this is where you watch out for cancel culture or mob mentalities masking as progress. And then Mars goes into Libra on August 6th. And Mars really encourages diplomacy. Remember, Mars is all about the Libra scales, about balance and harmony. And I was just doing some teachings around the feather of Mot. So it's M-A''AT. The feather of Mot is an Egyptian hieroglyph symbol. It's a teaching where you want to, at death, that your heart would be placed on the liberty scale, and the feather of Mot on the other side. Is your heart as light as a feather, or is it burdened with old emotions? And it doesn't mean, and so in the Egyptian culture, what it means, if you're light as a feather, you can remain in eternity for life and not finish that cycle of incarnation back on earth. But if your heart is heavy, it's like, all right, well, let's have another go round here and see if you can release, any of the guilt or the shame, or, whatever it is that your burdens or pain that your heart carries. And so this is kind of what's happening in August, where are we going to be lighthearted and light-minded, or are we still going to be really feeling at the mercy of our pain and our suffering, or we feel at the mercy of the pain and the suffering and the world with humanity, or how animals are treated? Like, how can we hold that compassion and still remain having our heart light as a feather? I don't have the answer to that, because I'm just like you. I'm treading water just like you. And so anyway, that was the feather of Mot. You can go do your own research on it. But I do find it interesting that was really coming up in relationship to this month of August. So Mars in Libra encourages diplomacy, but the shadow's passive aggressive and avoidance. Will we speak the truth with grace, or are we going to continue to pretend that we are at peace while boiling inside? I remember my daughter, if you're happy, be happy. If you're sad, be sad. But if you're sad, don't pretend to be happy. But these are choice points. If we're sad, we've got choices to get out of it. And I have to tell you, one of the biggest things to shift sadness is to do something kind and nice for someone else. I know it sounds like it can't be that easy, but it is. Like, go volunteer at the food bank once a week. It can change that internal pressure to just feel what you're feeling on the inside. So let's not also forget the solar clarity that's coming through, the solar flares that are happening. You might feel wired, you might feel anxious, you might feel unwell because having ascension symptoms. And this isn't a glitch, it's a frequency upgrade. All this together forms what I am calling for this month of August, the gateway of choice, a cosmic moment that says, Where do you stand? So let's recognize what this shift has the potential to look like in everyday life. So, recognizing the shift. Now, with all that being said, have you noticed what's changing? Have you noticed? So, I've seen people, this is what I've noticed. People are beginning to make eye contact again. Store clerks, the clerks in stores are opening up. They're actually making eye contact. They're actually saying hello. Their shoulders are relaxed more. I went to a destination wedding recently. The hotel staff, they weren't just being nice because they're paid to be nice. You could tell they genuinely were going out of their way to make things more comfortable. And I had my dog with me for the first time in a hotel, and they just were really kind, showing me where the dog park was. I mean, it was just, I was just shaking my head like, is this really happening? And so, how about neighbors? Uh, Neighbors mowing lawns, bringing soup, watching each other kids. Remember, I'm 66 years old. I remember when that happened. These aren't isolated acts. These are signals. So start paying attention, not to how you're feeling, but start to notice there's a change in the air around us. And why these aren't isolated acts, they are signals. We are thawing. We are thawing. After years of survival mode, just treading water, right? We're thawing, we're starting to feel again. And to me, as I was meditating on it, it's like a wax. It felt like a wax melting under the heat of the divine light. Melting wax under the heat of the divine light. Our rigidity is softening. Our nervous system is repatterning. That's definitely repatterning. And our hearts are reopening. Amid war, economic tension, something beautiful is blooming beneath the noise. And that's our humanity. So let me just look at a couple of notes. And Enda Hart is saying that they're noticing that the children are kind of rising to this friendliness. And thank you for that, because I hadn't thought to watch how children are changing to the frequency, because they're going to be some of the first ones to really show us the frequency that we want to choose in August. Okay. So seeing through the illusion, yes, there's still a lot of smoke being blown in our face. Narratives that distract, divide, or disempower us. But something has shifted, hasn't it? So Spirit was showing me, because I'm hearing all this from Spirit, but I'm a clairvoyant, which means I can see the energy. And the energy I was seeing was like a thick fog. It's this kind of thick fog where if you're trying to drive your car and the passenger has to get out with a flashlight in the front, to make sure that you're staying on the road, kind of fog. So I was having this kind of disconnect where it's like, all right, so I'm talking about August. I'm talking about these frequencies, and we're connecting and loving one another and all. But what is this fog? And that's when I was shown that there was this rope in the fog, where the fog is this distraction, disorientation, confusion, complexity, division. But what I could see and what Spirit showed me was there's this rope. I call it the rope of integrity, is just right there. And it's like, even though we can't see, we're following that frequency thread forward through the month of August and into the fall. So, and then it was like, and then I heard the word smoke and mirrors, smoke and mirrors. So again, it's distraction energy, but I feel like the distraction energy is like this little squeaky, mousy voice that's running in circles on the floor. Like we could just like kick it out of the way, where before in the last few years, it felt like a booming voice that was overriding our own inner voice. Now it's like a little tiny voice. So, yes, there's still a lot of smoke being blown in our faces, narratives that distract, divide, disempower, and it's shifting. And we are all starting to see through the illusion. Are you starting to notice that? Are you questioning what you used to accept as truth? Are you sensing that old system that no longer holds your consent to move in that direction? This is the moment where we stop outsourcing our power. Here, let me give you more power to lead us in a direction I didn't even want to go to in the first place, right? We stop looking at somebody else to fix it. This is August, August, August. Like all of a sudden, it's like, why did I give you that much room? Why did I give you that much room to fix these issues? And you're fumbling the ball. And so but this is an energy thing. It's not like you're picking up the pieces and saying, I'm going to take care of it. It's like, as humanity globally, happening all over the world, we are picking up the pieces, and energetically we're making that choice of getting stronger. And it's like, oh, I don't know what you all were thinking, but we here, us humans, we're choosing to unify. And that's a miracle in itself. So, yep, let's not sugarcoat this. There will be collapses. There will be government collapses, financial systems collapsing. None of this is new to any of us. Institutions that no longer serve truth. And remember, when the blue light was coming in, it was all about dissolving illusions, illuminating truth, and helping us to see the differences between right and wrong. And that's really coming through in August as well. So, yes, and this fall appears to be in synchronized waves because I'm living in the United States. So I am in the center of that intense bubble. And I know that many of you in the world are just like, I'm so sorry you all are going through this, or you just, there's this support. But Spirit is always remind us we're not the only ones going through this. I know that in many of your countries you're going through this, and many of your cultures and your religions you're going through this. We are all going through this together, same, but different. So it just means that ours is maybe a little louder, but it doesn't mean that we're the only ones going through this. So there is this global shift of kindness. I will just call it that. So any institution that doesn't serve truth, and this is anywhere in the world, and yes, they may fall in what appears to be synchronized waves. So that's what I was seeing. It was like this waves of consciousness change in August, and it's just changing how everything is unfolding. It's so pay attention to say, hey, something shifted there. So, and here's the miracle. We'll face them not with fear, but with relief. And that was the other thing that came up in my meditation around this. It was like, we all go, oh, thank goodness it finally broke. Have you ever been in a relationship and there's this tension building in the house, and it's building in the house, and it's building in the house, and then suddenly there's this big blow up and this big fight and then all the words just get put out on the table, and you get that clarity, and then you just feel that sense of relief that finally the tension bubble broke. That's what I'm picking up in the spiritual world, is saying that you would think that you would be upset about these things collapsing, but there's this sense about, oh, finally relief. There's movement. And that's the thing I'm always saying. I would take movement and change over stuckness and pressure any day, even if it doesn't look pretty. And so, because for many of us, it will feel like finally the pressure's breaking, the illusions are crumbling, the dam is giving way to the river of truth. Write that on the top of your paper. We should make a bumper sticker that says that the dam is giving way to the river of truth. And in that river, we're not drowning, we are floating. And we remember we are not glitching, we are upgrading. So let's do a meditation. Not sure. Oh, good. Our timing is good. So in this guided meditation, I'm calling it crossing the choice point. This meditation is crossing the choice point, but we're going to add a little extra grounding in here. But I do want to say I have put the link in the narrative box comment. You know what I'm saying. The link box in this YouTube video. I call it grounding, grounding, and more grounding. Highly recommend that you get that guided meditation and just really use it a lot in the month of August. Just remembering August is a choice point, how we're going to move forward, you know, divided or unified, kind or not so kind. And then that's going to carry us in that grounded way into the fall. Description box. Thank you, Polly. Thank you, Terry. That's it. All right, let's do a guided meditation. Crossing the choice point. Oh, so join me, everyone, in closing your eyes and turning within. And take just a moment to feel within yourself what's going on for you. Can you feel a choice point rising, or does it just feel kind of quiet, unexcited? Take a moment to let your body know that there are choice point frequencies that are coming up, especially the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th of August. And let's start off by really helping your body to ground your humanity and ask your higher self to support you, to help you to know when you're well grounded or those times when you may need more grounding. Now, grounding is an invisible force. It's invisible at the 3D level. It is not invisible at the other dimensional levels. But you can feel it and sense it and know it. And so your spirit loves to be playful with the imagery of grounding. And so ask your spirit, what kind of grounding image would you like to play with today in regards to supporting you for those choice points that will be coming up in your life and is available to you now? And your grounding can be a tree with roots, ancient roots. It can be playful otters. My grounding this morning was sticky taffy. It can be mountains, waterfalls, steel beams. Let it be playful and supportive. And in your mind's eye, your sense, your knowing, let it settle, your grounding, let it settle around the area of your hips. And then extend through the seat of the chair or the floor or the ground or your bed. Just let gravity just gently start to pull at the image, letting it stretch through the earth's crust and going deeper and deeper until you're at the magnetic core of the earth, and then create another image to help yourself really anchor your light, anchor your soul, anchor your truth. And once you sense that you're at the center, your consciousness, your light, your spirit, your energy field is anchored into the center of the earth, you can have you pretend for a minute, just kind of feel into it getting stronger and lighter and stronger and lighter. I like to work with a dial because I'm more visual. So, but you can pretend to know a dial of, let's say your grounding is at 60%, you want to turn it up to 100% or down to 20%. So pretend you're turning up and down a dial of your grounding until it's just right for you, not too strong, not too light. When you're grounded, it stabilizes how you feel in your human body. You know, do you feel strong and centered at your core? Do you feel stable on your feet? It also stabilizes your emotions, where you may feel emotionally labile, which means all over the place. Your grounding can help stabilize your emotions, stabilize your clarity, stabilize your mind, help stabilize your spiritual focus. But it also, your grounding functions as a drain. And so you may notice as it gets stronger, there's an additional flow of ease that's draining old energy out of your auric field, down your grounding to be recycled at the core, the earth's center. Now imagine yourself standing grounded at a fork in the road. On one side is a familiar path. It might feel comfortable. Maybe you feel a little bit numb to the noise in the world. Maybe it is noisy, overwhelming. Maybe it feels like you're having to be hyper diligent and controlling, or you're being controlled. by whatever messaging is coming through. And then there's the other road, a glowing path of truth, of kindness, and connectedness. And this is the beauty about this choice point that we're in right now. You don't need to force the choice. Simply feel into what direction calls to your soul. Now, above you, allow yourself to see and sense a soft blue celestial light pouring down from the cosmos, filling in your aura, the top of your aura, filling in the top of your head, your human body, this really soft, luminescent, blue cosmic frequency. The blue light of truth, the dissolver of illusions, the clarifying nature of right and wrong. Let it flow down through your heart, through your mind, your throat, your communication, down into your chest, your solar plexus, which is the illuminator of your soul's light, down into those beautiful body feelings, down into the survival that's much more than just treading water. Allow that blue frequency to flow through your arms and legs, filling up your entire aura. This is the light of your divine memory. This is the code of your humanity. And then silently or out loud, say, I choose truth. I choose unity. I choose to remember who I am in all of my strengths. Now let this blue light also flow down your grounding to help you anchor more into your body. Let it bathe your heart into opening. Feel your nervous system begin to calm and settle. And feel yourself return to who you have always been. We're going to take a moment of quiet just as these waves of blue just flow through all the way from above the cosmos down through your entire energy field and down to the center of the earth. Just allow the waves of change and choice flow through, allowing you to know what your truth is and your options are. Beautiful. Allow yourself to come back, be current, present, conscious in the space that you're in. Bring that beautiful blue light into your room and into your home, illuminating the truth. And when you're ready, you can just start moving around and open your eyes and just reorient yourself. And remember, we've got this, right? As I say, we've always been stronger together than we ever have been apart. And that's really coming to the front of the line in this next frequency forecast of alignments that are especially strong mid-August. Remembering every moment that you make a choice will be amplified in the fall, September, October, November, December. Every choice that you make, every thought that is unifying, act on it. Every thought that may be dividing us, rethink it. And just practice those forks in the roads, those choices every step along the way in this frequency forecast for August, knowing it's really going to set you up in a way that's stable and focused and true for you in the months to come for the rest of the year. So yes, we've got this. All right, everyone, thanks so much for coming on today. Please feel welcome to share this and also tune into that grounding, more grounding guided meditation to help carry you through the rest of the year. All right, everyone, take good care, and I'll see you next week.